to South Korea to teach English at a public school after school. And I was literally the first non-Korean person to ever step foot in that school. Forget about teaching there. So it was a really big experience, cultural experience for them. But it was a really big cultural experience for me, to be in a school where there's 1,200 kids and they're all Korean and all the teachers are Korean, the principals are Korean. Everybody was Korean but me. So there's a lot of things I was not prepared for. But one thing I was definitely not prepared for, not at the school, but out and about in South Korea, was the amount of attention I received by just being an American male walking down the street. So I'm going to read this chapter from my memoir, and this chapter is called, "So This Is What It's Like to Be a Teen Girl." I was not prepared for all the women to stop what they were doing when I got on a bus and sit up straight, fix their hair, and smile at me. I was not prepared for the queen bee of those women to come and sit next to me as soon as I sat down. I was unprepared for women walking on the opposite side of the street, going in the opposite direction of me, doing an about face, crossing the road, and then walking next to me, striking up conversations. I was unprepared for the queen bee to get up from her seat, stand beside me, and lean her body against me when standing on a train. I was not prepared to eat alone in restaurants, and I had young, attractive women whisper and giggle while staring at me and following me when I left. I was unprepared to wear shorts and a t-shirt, and women looked me up and down with a smirk and a sense of ownership. I was not prepared for every woman to focus all their attention on getting and keeping mine. They often aggressively told me that they were single and had a successful career and that they found me very interesting, while smiling, giggling, and continuously telling me how smart, funny, and exciting I was, even though I could tell that they weren't even listening to me or what I was saying. I was not prepared for women being attracted to me and pursuing me, knowing it had nothing to do with their interest or attraction. I was unprepared because they perceived me as wealthy and successful. Michael Swerdloff, the human being, was irrelevant. I was not prepared to become shy and quiet when I could tell that I was a target. I was unprepared to be noticed everywhere, but still felt unseen. I was not prepared to learn about the experiences of teens and young women who cannot go in public without somebody wanting them, but not being interested in them at all. I was not prepared to walk away from women to whom I was very attracted and interested, knowing that no matter what I did or said, they would mostly still see me as their white knight. I was unprepared to wonder what I would wear that day would attract more attention than I could emotionally or mentally handle. I was not prepared for all this attention from amazing women to become a source of discomfort and shame. I felt ashamed that we had convinced so many of these women that they could have a better life just by being with, marrying, and moving to the United States. Even if they didn't like the person they were married to, it still seemed worth it to them. I was not prepared for the deep shame that I felt for all the girls and women who experienced the same thing as I was, but men had even less interest in them than these women had in me. I understood that my experiences were temporary. This was not true for the women who experienced this endlessly. And I reflected on all the times I had noticed a woman and only saw her for her face and body. So that was the year that I learned what it was like to be a teen girl while living in South Korea.